welcome to Dustin's Kaleidoscope. I'm Dustin. Today my guest is Ozi Okaro. Ms. Okaro is a children's book author and the creator of Ikuzi Dolls. Ikuzi Dolls are black dolls representing different shades of skin color, and I'm so glad her creations bring her to the show today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Dustin. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been a few moments since I saw you, so I'm so glad we were able to finally get you on the show. But when I first met you, I saw your dolls, and I was just like, this is so amazing because you have dolls that are of different shades, which is not something that's typical that we find. So before we get into the dolls and some of your children's books, can you give us a little bit about your background? Like, do you have a background in creating dolls or art, some kind of background that's artistic?
Actually, that's a good question because my background is in computer science.
Oh, okay.
I have an undergraduate degree in computer science and statistics, so this is very far from kind of where I came from.
Right.
And I did go back to grad school for to major in marketing management. So I
Okay.
have an MBA in marketing management. So this is really just my creative side finally coming out.
Okay.
Not to say I haven't been creative in my other life, but now it's just been sort of a renewing, a new awakening for me.
Okay.
I spent some time at home raising kids. I have 4 kids and didn't want to go back to corporate America. And I thought, what am I really passionate about? What do I really enjoy doing? And my girls actually inspired me to create the line of dolls.
Oh, really?
Yes, I have 2 girls.
Okay.
About 2 years ago in 2014, about around January 2014, I was kind of exploring what to do next. And we had always had issues finding dolls for them, always. And just kind of growing up and not really having dolls of color or that many dolls of color out
Right.
there, and our girls not having choices. It was very frustrating going to the stores and not being able to find dolls that they could relate to or identify with. My daughters are both different skin tones of brown, different shades of brown.
Okay.
So, I really thought that this is a need, and I know that I need them. So I'm sure
Right.
others do too.
Right.
And so with their help, a team of 3, we kind of got to it and just kind of created these dolls.
And how much input did your daughters have in the
They
creation of the
had
dolls?
input from day one.
Really?
Even the design. I was sketching the faces and designing the faces based off of their faces,
Okay.
and the dresses as well. Really, we would go with one look, and then they would look at it and go, not so much, and then we would change it. Not just the dress designs, but the molds and the faces to kind of get that right look, which they thought was pretty, but not too scary.
Oh, okay.
With a smile, but not too much of a smile.
Right.
That took some back and forth.
And how
for a
old
while.
are your daughters?
Now they are 8 and 11.
Okay. And so they were helping you when they were 6 and 9, or
Yeah, they
about
were
that
6
time?
and 8. It was just the birthday time of year. But
Oh,
at that
okay.
point, my 11-year-old now hadn't turned 9, so she was 8 when
Okay.
we started. Yes.
That's such a wonderful gift to give to your girls as well, because it's empowering them. It's saying, I don't see something that isn't, I see there's a need, and you go and create it. So you started this 2 years ago. How can you explain, you explained that you and your girls looked at some, things, everything from the skin tone to the hair to the clothing, but how did you actually go from the idea to a prototype? Like, was that a difficult concept, or was it fairly easy?
It wasn't easy, and it was a process.
Okay.
Just from our initial creative ideas, just kind of putting it all together, putting it down, seeing what would work and what not, kind of going through that process, that checklist. It actually took some time.
Okay.
But they enjoyed it, and it was fun doing it together. Them learning about a business and them starting off with me. It's funny because my daughter goes, she says that, we'll run your business for you when we're older.
That's wonderful.
So they've really enjoyed the process.
That's great.
But it was a long process. But the great thing is, once we saw that first doll, just looking at her return saying, this is what we created. It was just so fulfilling.
That must have
And
been
the
like,
smiles on their faces, amazing.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So which one was the first doll?
Well, we had three first dolls,
Okay.
I want to say. The dark skin, the very dark skin doll.
In the purple
Yes, in
dress?
the purple.
Okay.
With the curly afro hair.
Okay.
That's inspired by my first daughter. And then the medium skin tone with the pink in the pink dress. And then we have another one that's not here today. She's a light skinned doll with brown hair.
Okay. And so these were the three dolls that captured the what you wanted as far as skin tone and things like.
Yes.
So what has been the reception from people who have seen the dolls?
It's been great. It's been absolutely great. It's funny because we have people reaching out to us saying, "Oh, these dolls look like my granddaughter or look like my daughter." And not just people of color, which is interesting because primarily we created them for people of color because we wanted to give our girls more options with dolls they can relate to. But I've had people from, other races saying, this does still look like my daughter, and we still love your dolls. So that has been, I didn't really expect that. So that outpouring of love has been amazing for us.
That is so wonderful to hear because as we were talking a little bit before the show started, when I was growing up, the dolls that were of color were very limited,
Yes.
and usually they didn't have the same feature. They didn't have my features. They were just the skin tone was changed. So this is amazing.
Thank you.
So where can people find these?
So we sell our dolls on our website, and that's www.ikuzi dolls. That's IKUZI dolls.com.
Okay.
And we also sell them on Amazon, but a limited number on Amazon. But the full line can only be purchased on our website at
Okay.
the moment.
So the name Ikuzi, does it have
Yes. The word Ikuzi means to teach, because the whole goal of this was to teach our daughters to love who they are, how they look, no matter what complexion, what shade of brown, no matter what hair you have, just to kind of love how God made you. And so we thought that was the perfect name for the line.
And in what language is
It's
that?
actually in Igbo.
Oh, in Igbo.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. So, now that you created it 2 years ago, but how long have you been selling the dolls?
So we we started selling online in September of 2015.
Okay, so a little bit over a year now.
It's been a little over a year.
And I know that you said you're selling on your website and also on Amazon. Do you also? I know that I met you at a fair, but do you get a chance to do that often, or how?
Thanks for reminding me. We do go out to fairs once.
Okay.
We try to get out there into the community, and that's kind of the best time. My daughters usually come out with me. We meet people. They come. Some people we meet already have the dolls.
Are you serious?
So it's interesting to see that because we think, you think you're so new and
Right.
people haven't started talking about you or people haven't heard about you. But we've had people come up to me and say, "Oh, we got your doll online, and
That's
we didn't
so
know
cool.
you were in our neighborhood."
Oh, that's even.
We tend to do vendor events and fairs around this area.
And do you have plans to go into larger stores like Toys R Us and
So
toys like that, or is
with a lot of toy companies, I think most people want to get into the big box stores. We're just going to continue to grow organically, and hopefully we get into one of those stores. Hopefully they find us interesting and think that their customers would want dolls like this.
Okay.
I would argue that they do. But yes, we would love to get into some of the big box stores.
Okay. And I'm just going to change subjects just for a little bit,
Yes.
but I mentioned that you are also a children's author. And I know these books are not directly related to the dolls, but I think it's important for people to know because, of course, it's part of your creativity. But could you tell us a little bit about why
Absolutely.
you created the books?
So my books, I actually have 4 kids. I have 2 sons and 2 daughters. So the reason why I created these books was because I wanted to teach them about their roots and the continent and their culture. So
Okay.
these books are, as you can see, I have My Africa Vacation, where a little boy gets to visit 10 countries of Africa.
Wow, okay.
And just the landscape and sites and historical areas of the continent. And of course, the ABC's trip to Africa is about the ABCs going through, of course, the letters of the alphabet, but some interesting things about Africa. It's very interesting because this is an ABC book, but I find that, 6-year-olds really enjoy reading the book.
That's
because
great,
of the
'cause you're
interesting,
learning, right?
you
Yeah.
learn a lot from it. And my big ceremony is about a little girl that gets to attend a traditional African wedding ceremony. So a lot of times what I come up with in terms of books, and I just think about what I want to teach my children about, and I write about it.
That's wonderful.
And it's interesting because I've been getting great feedback. Even though I wrote them for my children, other people do enjoy the stories as well.
And I know your children were the premise for you actually writing the books, but how have other people, you said other people like the books as well, how did your children like the books?
Oh, they love them because I actually included their names in the book when I can. I've included some of their names in the books, and they love that because, they find that they can't find their names in books out there,
Right.
so I just sort of insert them in certain places. But
Oh, that's
they love that.
wonderful.
And their friends do too. I've put in a couple of their friends' names into the books as well.
That's a great idea.
And sometimes I try to get out to the local schools, and when I read the books, some people know, who the person is.
That's
We have a small
funny.
little community here.
That's great. And where can people find your books?
Yes, so our books are sold on Amazon.com. Actually, you can find them on Amazon.uk, .it, .ca, so they're actually on Amazon worldwide.
Oh, that's great. That's great. We have a couple of minutes before we actually take a quick break. But is there anything that you wanted to tell us about I wanted to go back to the dolls, anything that you wanted to tell us that we haven't covered yet?
So the great thing about the dolls, and being that we're growing organically, we're still really very much in tune with the customer, and I
Okay.
don't want to ever lose that. And so we get a lot of feedback about the dolls and requests for the next look to
Oh,
add to the
really?
line. And we love receiving those emails, and based on the requests, we have added 1 or 2 dolls to the line based on the demand. So if we get a lot of requests for a particular look, we'll consider it and see what we could do about it. So I love that, being able to design the dolls based on some requests that we get from the customers. It just gives us that nice connection, which we enjoy.
And I bet that's very different from most doll companies, because if you talk to a huge company, you're not going to have them, they probably don't have the flexibility to take into
Yes.
account their
Exactly.
customers' needs
Exactly.
and wants. So, we'll be right back. But this is Dustin's Kaleidoscope. We'll be back in a moment on the other side.
After 17 years working as a mason, Mike was laid off. I met him when he came into the library looking for help. He found a job opening, but the application was only online. Mike said he'd spent his entire life around tools, but had never used a computer. I showed him how, and he ended up applying for numerous jobs online. I saw Mike the other day. His new computer skills paid off. He's working again.
New Jersey libraries are transforming lives. Tell us your story.
Hi, I'm Dustin, Dustin's Kaleidoscope, and we're back. We are talking to Ozi Okaro, and we actually have one of your wonderful dolls so that you can show us a little bit more about your doll and show us how her arms move and things like that.
Sure.
So, first of all, I know that you mentioned that you selected the clothing based on what you and your daughters, thought would be great clothing for the dolls. Does the fabric looks a little bit like it may have like an African motif, or is that just?
Yeah, this is actually
Mine.
100% cotton, this African print.
It is African
So
print.
yes,
Okay.
it is. It's washable. The great thing about these dresses, you could throw them in the wash.
Oh, that's nice.
I recommend inside out because of the
Okay.
tulle on the bottom, depending on the doll you're looking at. But yes, these are we use all African print fabric.
Oh, that's
We
great.
thought that would add a nice touch and sort of celebrate our African roots. We have articulation in the head and in the arms as
I
well.
noticed the eyes were
And the eyes,
closed.
yes, they do have open close eyes, so when you lay them down, the eyes close. And of course, it's on a stand right now, but
Okay.
normally you'd want to take her, you would be playing with her like this. And of
Oh,
course, there's
okay.
articulation in down here as well. So, yeah, she's actually has a soft cloth body as well. It's nice
Okay.
for cuddling and hugging.
Right.
But yeah, and of course, her nappy hair. It's interesting because you can really do whatever you want with the hair. You can make it more nappy by brushing it out. My daughter has brushed this one out a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Depending on the look you want, or you can wet it in sort of finger style. We don't recommend combing it unless you want to lose like most
Oh,
of
the
the curl.
okay.
Yeah, it could be more of a bigger afro if you combed it all out.
Okay.
It is washable. The hair is washable. We don't recommend washing the cloth
The body,
because it's
okay.
a soft body, but you can of course wipe clean the hands and the arms and the legs.
So you took all of this into account because one thing we didn't discuss is what is the age group for the girl, or even, I guess maybe even boys would probably may play with it, younger boys, but
Boys or girls, age 3 and up. We don't
okay.
recommend younger than 3 because they tend to kind of really throw the doll and they don't really take good care of it and they might not really enjoy, or I would say get the most out of a doll
Okay.
like this. The quality is great, it's not going to break or anything, but I think kids that are older, 3 and up, sort of appreciate it, 3 to 12 actually, sort of appreciate an 18-inch doll and kind of take better care of it.
okay.
But there's nothing on this that's going to break off and then be a hazard to a young child. But I
Okay.
would just recommend 3 to 12.
And I like the fact that you said the body is actually soft,
Soft.
so that I'm
body.
I can remember as a child I would actually sleep with the dolls, so you don't wake up with these impressions, on your face or
yes.
anything. So
You
that's
can
very
definitely
nice.
sleep with them right by you.
That's wonderful. So can I see?
Absolutely.
Okay. And how tall are these dolls? They're pretty
They
tall.
are 18-inch dolls, and the
Oh.
great thing is their dresses fit most 18-inch dolls on the market. So if you had another brand doll, you could actually switch and swap clothing with
Oh,
them.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's very versatile.
Yes.
But I really like the fact that you used African print because I don't think I've ever seen any doll clothing that has African print, or anything that's like that. And one thing that we did not mention is this print specific to a particular African country?
No, that's a great thing. What we use, it's called Ankara, and that's actually across Africa.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a fabric that's used across Africa, so it's very versatile. It's actually very light cotton that keeps cool in the summertime. So, that's why it's used across Africa. It keeps you very cool as cotton does.
So I was just thinking, this is something that, if you have, the little girl, have you ever seen where the little girl has the same clothes as the doll? So this fabric could be found
Absolutely.
other places.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very nice. Some of the other dolls, so I noticed, this doll is lighter and it has straighter hair. So these are, and I like the fact that everything is so varied because it, like you said, even people who may not be black can look
identify.
at this. Exactly.
So we, of course, we come in all black women, black children, black people come in all shades
Right.
of brown and beautiful shades of brown. And so we went with some very light shades of brown because we know we're very varied in our looks. But we found that people have resonated with all the different shades and they don't necessarily have to be black to really love the look and identify with the look, which has been amazing.
And I think one thing that we did not mention, is that sometimes when there aren't dolls that look like you, sometimes you may wonder, why not? This is something that helps with self-esteem. Okay, there's a doll that looks like me. I think it also is important because it is something that maybe people who are not black would also look at and say, oh, this is nice. My child can have a collection of dolls that
Absolutely.
have, from different groups.
Absolutely. So Ikuzi means to teach because the whole purpose of creating these dolls was to teach our girls to love who they are.
Right.
So at a young age, positive role play, playing with dolls that look like you helps build self-esteem and self-love, self-pride.
Right.
So that is one of the reasons why we created these dolls. The second thing is, even if you're not black or not of color and you have dolls that don't look like you, I think that's important in
Right.
being able to accept people of other races.
Right.
So that is definitely, these dolls are not, even though they're made primarily for black girls because we don't have that many dolls that represent us, they're definitely dolls that I would recommend to anyone and everyone.
That's not. I bet you're probably the most popular house on Playdates. You have like a variety of dolls, not just one or two. You
and
have
they,
like
they get into them. They get into them.
That must be great. One other thing is I noticed that you had like the tulle on the outside. Was that done? Is that done specifically, or was that?
That was just us trying to give it some style and some flair.
Okay. Okay.
Me and my girls just really having a ball designing them.
I like this one too because this one does not have the tulle, but it has like the eyelet.
Yes,
type
and
in
that's very cute too. And yeah, we had a lot of fun with it.
So when you are taking, not so much that you're taking requests, but when other people contact you and say, hey, we want this, how far are you willing to deviate from the fact that, for example, you have all African patterns, like?
Well, there's certain things that make it an Ikuzi doll in our eyes, and
Okay.
we wouldn't deviate from that.
Okay.
We certainly like to stick with the African print, although on our website you can buy other just regular doll dresses.
Oh, okay.
In addition, as an add-on accessory.
Okay.
But we do, when we put a doll out, it's always in an African print dress. So you get it in an African print dress. It comes with a pink carrying case, which unfortunately I don't have today. But each and every one of these dolls comes in a pink carrying case. So it's great for travel. It's great for storage. I just found that my girls needed something to kind of pack their dolls away and
Right.
keep their rooms neat. So I thought that was a must. But yeah, so there's certain things that we would not deviate from, but we do sort of listen. I think that's the best word to use.
Okay, and I just wanted to mention, that was one of the things that struck me. I did see the pink, when I first met you, I saw the pink carrying case, and I've never seen anything like that, where it's so organized, but not just organized, but it's cute. It was like, it's just very cute, so.
Thank you. It's a soft cloth carrying case, and the dolls fit neatly inside with room to store something else like a dress or a little toy in there as well. So
That's wonderful. Is there anything else that we should know about your dolls, or how you started, or what you plan to do?
well, we plan, I like to say we because it's still a team of three. We plan to continue to add dolls to our line. Our goal is to create a line of dolls so any girl of color can come to our website at the moment and in the future and be able to find a doll that looks like them, because I think it's very important for every little girl to be able to see a doll that they can relate to and identify with.
Have you ever thought of making male dolls?
So we've had a few customers request that. We just have to see. We can't accommodate everything,
Right.
but like I said, we do listen, and it really depends on the demand.
Okay. Can you tell us again where we can find the dolls for people who didn't see the first segment?
We sell our dolls on our website online, www.ikuzidolls.com. We do have a limited selection on Amazon, but the full line you can find on our website. And we do have a Twitter account,
Oh, you do?
Ikuzi Dolls,
Okay.
IKUZI Dolls, as well as a Facebook account and an Instagram account as well, where we post some fun pictures of the dolls. So follow us on Instagram.
Can other people post and tag you?
We do have, that's a great question. We do have a lot of our customers taking pictures of themselves with their doll or their doll in the city they live.
That's
we do
wonderful.
have quite a number of customers outside of the U.S. So we
Really?
get pictures from Australia, pictures from Dubai, and once they post pictures on their Instagram page, they tag us, and we tend to repost on our page. So if you do have a doll, one of our dolls, please take a picture. We'd love to see it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And they're very creative, so we enjoy getting those pictures.
That's funny. When you said that, it seemed like maybe you remembered something.
No, they're very creative because they put they take pictures of the dolls in a particular scene. They might dress the doll up differently.
Okay.
And so it's just very interesting to see the creativity.
That's wonderful. That, I mean, it's like it's a community
Yes.
of people. And how long did it take? Was that difficult to get a community of people where they actually tag and follow you, or was it also organic?
I think a lot of it is organic.
Yes.
And then when we sell a doll to people, sometimes we'll just ask, would you like to if you'd like to send us a picture, we'd love to see it. And so once they send, we ask if it's okay to post, and we'll repost it, yeah.
That's wonderful. We only have a couple of minutes left, but I so appreciate you coming here, and I'm really glad that you and your two daughters decided to do this. And I know that's a
Thank you.
lot. That's a
Thank
lot.
you.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I don't have any girls, but
Thank
but I can see so many people, really loving this. Was it, you mentioned the social media. How, in addition to just asking people as they buy the dolls, would you mind posting? Are you like a social media guru? Like, do you have?
So
like how much?
It's interesting. I wouldn't call myself a social media guru, but I do a lot of the marketing myself
Do
on
you?
social media. Yes.
Okay.
So I create ads. I take pictures of them. I just think of what I want to see, and that's what I create and post out there.
Great.
And I see what works and what doesn't.
And is there one platform that you use more than other, like Facebook versus Twitter versus
Yeah, I
Instagram?
think Twitter. Sorry, not Twitter. Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Instagram, we tend to have a lot of people that like our pictures and kind of follow us on Instagram. I think that's kind of working for us at the moment. Facebook's good too, but I think people like to see the pictures of the dolls.
Especially, I guess, if there are other people who, from all over
Yes,
the world.
that are
That's
sending
pretty
in
cool.
their pictures, yes.
Great. Well, thank you. So, is there anything else that we haven't discussed? We have about 15 seconds. So.
Nope, that's it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing
for
this.
having me.
This is wonderful. This
Thank
is
you.
something that I hope more and more people will, go to your site and buy a doll or two, because it's wonderful.
Thank you.
I'm Dustin. This is Dustin's Kaleidoscope, and we will see you next time. Bye.